Himanta is, you were asking about his popular appeal. He has this bizarre sort of schizo appeal, right? On one hand, he wants to portray himself as this amiable mama. He calls himself, I'm the mama of Assam politics. Like Shivraj Singh Chauhan was the mama of Madhya Pradesh. He says, "Main mama hu and my wife is mami." So mama and mami are, they're sort of...
it's very like endearing, cute memes and all
cute.
that.
He has all these photo ops. Like I saw he tweeted a video where some Gen Z supporter who's turned up at his rally is giving him skincare tips.
I was talking to someone in the BJP, like a fairly important person. So he was like, this is such an unexciting election. Assam is a walkover. Bengal is a walkover for the other side. And Kerala and Tamil Nadu, BJP doesn't have a chance. So this is a very boring election. I don't know why you guys are covering it.
On the other hand, he's carrying out virtually a campaign of ethnic cleansing. Perhaps the only chief minister in this country at the moment who's carrying out a campaign, and I'm saying this with all seriousness, against states, Muslims who constitute a third of the population. He's bulldozing their homes. He's having them forcibly ejected from this country. He's threatening violence against them. He's arming indigenous communities who live in Muslim-dominated areas. He's giving them gun licenses to defend themselves, right? Now, which country does this remind you of right now globally that's doing this? So, it's not a joke.
Then his son had bird. He doesn't want to know about Kerala or Tamil Nadu. What is this?
This accusation you're making at me...
He basically said all elections are boring in the...
Half the blood in my body is Tamil. And yet you're casting such aspersions on me.
She talked about Christian voter in Kerala and how they are close to the BJP. In fact, the BJP didn't want to discuss FCRA. The thinking is that because a lot of the church bodies get impacted by FCRA, so they don't want to touch a sensitive issue right now.
But the Syrian Christians in Kerala are the ones who are saying that they will support the BJP. And we have seen that happen in previous elections. There are sections of Syrian Christians who have voted for the BJP, which is why we have seen the BJP's vote share go up in certain places. Also, last 2 years, BJP has appointed a lot of Christians as their district presidents. They also have 4 or 5 major Christian leaders standing for their tickets. But what I find interesting about the Puducherry election is not this BJP and DMK fight, but Jose Martin, the son of lottery kingpin Santiago Martin, who started a party, and he is contesting and he wants to be chief minister. So I find that
nice,
because he's going to flood money, right?
Yeah.
So in Tamil Nadu, we see money being flooded a lot. I'm sure that is going to happen in Puducherry now.
You're going to join this podcast. You don't have to come where you are. अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. Welcome to yet another episode of NL Hafta. For those of our viewers, audience, listeners who do celebrate Easter, happy Easter. And for all of you, I have some wonderful news and grateful. We won 2 awards in the last 2 weeks. One a Ramnath Goenka Award, one by Basant Kumar for this report on the reality of farmers' income in the Hidden India category, right? Invisible India category. And Shiv Narayan won a special mention for his series on e-waste, which was very well received. All this is only possible because you subscribe and contribute. It is a miracle that a team our size has won 15 awards for our journalism and our app in the last 6-7 years, which is probably, our size is maybe 1/10 to 1/20th the size of legacy media. And all this is only possible, this miracle, you make this miracle happen. And while I've been saying all this, there's a QR code and there's a link. Subscribe so you can make our journalism stronger. We can cover more of India. We would like to cover a lot of this 326 million hectare land. And this can only be done if you support journalism, not billionaires, not government funds. So thank you. Here are the award photographs again. And forever grateful for those of you who've been supporting our journalism. So we will get into the headlines. I have a lot of announcements also. But before we get into the headlines, let me introduce the panel. In the studio is Manisha Pande. Hi,
Hello.
Manisha. Shardool Katyayan.
Hello.
Joining us later in the show will be Sreenivasan Jain, former managing editor of NDTV, Delhi-based journalist. You've seen him for years, decades on various platforms. And also joining us will be Dhanya Rajendran, the co-founder, editor-in-chief of the News Minute, a partner organization. They'll be talking about the Bengal Assam election and the Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry election respectively, because that's what the discussion today is going to be about. With that, let's get the headlines out of the way, Manisha.
So, I mean, whether elections are interesting or not, for a political party, maybe it's as simple as whether we're winning or not. But for journalists, it's always exciting, even if it appears to be a very one-sided sort of a match. I'm curious to know from Vasu, because he's come back from Assam, that you said that the opposition has sort of imploded and they haven't come together in the way that they should have before this election. But like you said, BJP has also been in power for 10 years now. Himanta. So what are the kind of... Because even if they're going to win, you pick up from the ground certain kind of dissatisfaction from voters. And there are these hurdles which Congress has not been able to exploit. But what are the things that you found, for BJP that was kind of not working for them?
One of the things that we heard pretty much across the board was that, and this is not just, partisan voices, was that Himanta has managed to deliver a lakh or lakh and a half, the numbers vary depending on who you talk to, government jobs without too much corruption. So these are some of the things you hear which are quote unquote, how do you put it? It's sort of ideologically agnostic. But then if you come to the other part of it, which is this very toxic, campaign that Himanta has been running against Assam's Muslims, it was somewhat disappointing to find that there were voices, voters who otherwise did not seem particularly communal. They had kind of absorbed or ingested some of that propaganda. The sense that the Muslims, the Bangladeshi, so-called Bangladeshis, who are essentially Bengali-speaking Muslims who've been in Assam for generations, are taking over land, are taking over our culture and all of that. That toxic propaganda has seeped in.
In Assam BJP, a lot of people, more than 20 people are ex-congressmen, which is like, that's supposed to build resentment within the BJP.
Yeah, there is some bit of infighting you're hearing of within
how
the
come
BJP.
BJP old hands don't get pissed off when, people who cross over are given, they poach the line and they don't get anything? Like, they're chilled with it. They are truly Deshbhakt. They are selfless.
Yes, there is some friction, there's some grumbling, but it's not like there's a huge upset because, as I said, the BJP doesn't have that kind of bench strength of people who can feel resentful. But finally, I would say that in this current BJP, there is an element of fear. Nobody, even if they're upset or unhappy, whether it's Assam or elsewhere, you will not see widespread rebellion. You will not see widespread Bagavat as you would in other parties. So that's a factor as well.
And what about Zubin Garg? Did you feel that was an issue for
Is it an
Congress
issue?
to put it in their manifesto? That we'll,
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. When we were sort of speaking about, we're talking to people about what could possibly go against Himanta, there were two things people were saying. One is the Zubin Garg factor, and the other is the sense that Himanta has become, too arrogant, has become authoritarian. There are allegations of corruption against particularly his wife, that she's acquired all this land and so forth. On the Zubin Garg front, I was trying to understand, why is that a negative for Himanta if Zubin Garg has gone off and, very tragically lost his life in another country? And the answer I got is because the people who are managing Zubin Garg, who were there with him and who are subsequently now, I think some of them are still in jail, were seen as close to Himanta.
And let's get a little bit of an insight about what's happening in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry. So what do you make of it? How much of a influence is Vijay, the spectacular superstar who the BJP was trying to woo for the longest time, but he did not get wooed? His film is still not released, right? Somehow the election commission is going to decide whether this film should be released or not.
Yeah, his film is not released, and just I think yesterday he blamed the DMK and the BJP of colluding and disallowing the release of his movie. So Vijay is of course milking the non-release of his movie. How important is Vijay? I think that's a wild guess a lot of people are making. I was talking to this VCK leader. VCK is a Dalit party in Tamil Nadu. Their leader Thirumavalavan has decided to contest from the assembly this time. He's a member of parliament. but he decided to contest from the assembly. And one of the reasons is that the party is expanding. The second reason is that they believe Vijay can be a factor, if not in 2026, by the 2029 Lok Sabha polls, and they want to somehow counter it. So all parties believe that Vijay will become a threat, if not today, at least by 2029.
For the election fund, the QR code is next to Dhanya's face, and now she'll tell you why you should contribute at Pay to Keep News 3 and fund this election. Why should they, Dhanya? Kindly tell our viewers and listeners.
No, I think we have been putting a lot of stories without falling into the trap of this what is happening in election now is it's just a fight on television. One person says this, next person says that. For 2 days, the coverage is all about
And
that.
there's no
But
report.
what are the deeper issues? Yeah, what are the deeper issues? And I have to say this, I normally go for all kinds of media events and I extol the virtues of the Malayalam media, comparing them to Hindi and English and the Malayalam news, TV news media. And I always say that, they're better than Kannada or Telugu or even Tamil to some extent. But I take all that back because I have been seeing that most Malayalam news channels have been carrying advertorials. These are whole packages, right? Like you would see Manisha doing an election show. These are properly produced packages with vox pops from people for political parties without saying any other editorial. And for example, I saw a channel which is normally critical of the LDF putting out a 5-minute news story with a reporter fronting it, extolling all the good things which the government has done. And people are writing in the comments, finally this channel has woken up to the goodness of the government. It's actually getting paid to put it. It's not just the LDF, everybody's flooding. So it's not the political party's fault, right? They pay money, whoever takes the ad can put it out. But the lack of disclosure is really disturbing me. And it's all across. And candidates are paying money, parties are paying money, and all Malayalam news channels are carrying this.
So for this reason, you must pay to keep news free and scan the QR code or click on the link. Now you've heard it from Dhanya. Even in spite of her delirium or lack of sleep, she's still giving you the hard facts.
I was curious to know, Dhanya, because before you, Vasu was here and he said the same thing, that it should have been at least not a walkover for the BJP in Assam. The Congress, because of the vote percentage and how little the difference was, should have been able to give them a tough fight, but they aren't able to do that in Assam. And you're saying the same thing in Kerala, that they've been in power for 10 years, so it should have been easier for them to kind of dent through anti-incumbency. So why do you think that hasn't happened for the Congress there?
Couple of factors, Manisha. I mean, they are giving a tough fight. I'm not saying they are not, but I think it should have been an easier victory for them if they are going to be victorious. There are many factors. One is that the Kerala government has done administratively well. So people are not finding, there are complaints in certain sectors like infrastructure. There must be some in industry or education. Basically, higher education has taken a backseat in Kerala. So there are complaints in certain sectors, but overall, I feel people think that administratively, this government has been okay. They function quite well. And the government's motto, the CPM's motto is that, right? Continuity. They are saying 10 years you have given us, give us 5 more years, we'll continue with this thing. So that is resonating with people who think that, if the UDF comes to power, that continuity will go.
A lot of southern populace lives in Gulf countries, and loss of expat income and return of expats. Is it an issue?
But they'll probably blame Modi, right, for that.
But is it being discussed? That's what I wanted to ask.
Is it an issue at all what's happening in the Middle East since it has such a large Malayali population?
No, not really. I mean, the only discussion is the Congress saying that the brain drain is still happening, that because Kerala does not have enough good higher educational institutions and doesn't have enough jobs, young people are forced to go out of the state. But the problem is the solutions given by everybody is the same, that we'll have startup mission, we'll have more entrepreneurship, we'll have this, we'll have that. So there's no great solution that everybody is giving. Jobs are a concern, definitely. So that will be...
Bas, muft mein itna ich milega. For the full uncut podcast, subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free. The best way to listen to The Hafta and indeed all our podcasts is through the News Laundry app. You can download the app by clicking on the links given in the show notes. So do download our app and get the best podcast experience. And also pay for news and support a new news media ecosystem that News Laundry is trying to encourage, where we are accountable to you because we run on contributions that you make. We don't take government ads, we don't take corporations ads, so that news serves the public Because when the public pays, the public is served. Subscribe to News Laundry, click on the link in the show notes below, and proudly say, I pay to keep news free.